All right. Hey, guys, what's going on? My name is Chris Hopkins, and this is your Best Life Defined. How you doing today? You wake up excited? Is it working? It's looking like it is. Thanks for all you guys that show up every day, listening to my podcast, listening to me talk. Got to know that no matter what you feel about it, or maybe the moments when it's boring, I'm really in it for you. I really am. I wake up every day. I think, if there's anything that I want to be remembered for, I want to be remembered for the effort I put into trying to help the world, help people like you realize that there might be another way to live your life. It's not so much a life of sacrifice as it is of a life of isolated, focused choices, right? Because we can't have everything, right? So that's why I'm here. Thanks for showing up. Let's go ahead and get on this thing. So, have you ever wondered why it's so easy to fail? Why we fail? I spent a lot of time in that realm because I'm probably one of the biggest failures you'll ever meet. There are so many things I've tried and failed at. Won't get into details, but I'm not exactly perfect. Even now, this is like the fourth take on this podcast. This whole week has been killing me on trying to get the story out, right? I'm not sure exactly if I'm distracted. Maybe I am. We got our reservations for Florida, so we're kind of excited about that. There's some things cooking there. Really energized about the idea of getting back on the road. So maybe that's what it is. But I've been kind of failing at the podcast, and I'm thinking, well, why is that? I went out, walked, and talked yesterday. I'm thinking, why? Why am I failing? Why is it so difficult? Well, there's two reasons I think that we fail. Two main reasons, okay? The first reason would be that we are trying to attempt something that's completely outside our skill set. You're reaching for the stars. You're not even close there. You don't know what you're doing. You don't have the skill set to actually accomplish the goal you set your mind to do. So you fail. And I do that a lot. Then, what's funny about that? That scenario exists a lot. Even with the simple stuff, even when I look at the podcast or any of the things I've accomplished in my life, starting out is always rough. It's always like, I don't know how to draw. I don't know how to do audio mixing. In fact, there's still some stuff, there's some features of my audio package, the software I use to do my podcast, that I just don't know anything about. Don't know how they don't work, don't know the significance, right? And that's why I fail in the beginning, but now I look at it and I've kind of got an idea how it works. And more than that, it's kind of an intuitive thing. You eventually figure out what sounds good and you work with it. And of course, the conversation is the same. I do the podcast thing and the video thing. The best way for me to approach the video is just simply not care whether you like it or not. If you don't like watching me on video, go listen to me on YouTube or on the podcast. And if you don't like listening to me, don't. But the other reason we fail, besides not having the skill set, is that we fail because we don't have the endurance to achieve or to hone the skill set we do have. All right? In my case, I've always been a talker. I've always been the kind of guy. And granted, I'll admit it, this video thing, for you, those you are check this out on YouTube, my podcast presence is not, my video presence is simply not there. I'm not really feeling this engagement right now. And it comes across. So it's maybe hard for you to watch me on video. But the reason that is because I haven't got there yet. I haven't found that perfect combination to entertain you and make you laugh and smile and make you feel things. And I guess I could go into my personality thing, start telling stories, which is maybe what needs to happen. But the point is that when it comes to my YouTube channel, I'm going to continue to fail until I put that right combination of things together. But what that's going to take is consistency. That's going to require me to show up, even when it sucks, to go ahead and put another video out there, not to say, okay, screw it, my videos aren't doing anything, I'm just going to not do it. It's going to require me to show up and continually push towards that until my skills evolve to the point that I become a YouTube star. Not likely, but maybe, right? Just depends if I lighten up and I enjoy what I do, right? And it comes across. If you want to change anything in your life, and it's about living your best life, what would it look like? Well, in its simplest terms, living your best life is about doing more stuff that inspires you than doesn't. That is your best life, and that can change at any given moment. You can make adjustments, and you can increase the amount of time you spend doing things that inspire you, and that's not to be confused with this idea that doing things that inspire you should always be fun. I'm inspired by this. I listen to the podcast every day, and I think to myself, that's not bad. I can do better, but that's not bad. I feel good about the fact that I've actually found the nerve to show up every day, even though there's not a podcast I've done that I think is awesome. I don't have any of them where I say, yeah, I nailed it on that one. Nailed it, right? If I were to step away from that consistency, if I were to decide, no, I'm not going to do it anymore, then I'll never know how it turns out. I'll never know where this thing ends up, right? And that's when I fail. And granted, 300 and whatever number of podcasts, I've done it, right? I have a physical record of who I am, and there's a pretty good idea of what I believe about certain things, right? So by some standards, it wouldn't be a failure. But what standard matters when you think about your ability to succeed or fail, or your view of yourself as a failure? The only one that matters is you. Anything about what you've done. I admire artists. I'll look at someone's artwork and I'll be amazed at how easily they put it out there, and they do it and they're okay with it and they stand behind it and they're proud of their work, right? And I look at it, I think, I don't like your work. But I don't define whether they're successful or not. They do, right? And the ticket here is that there has to be two choices. Either you pick something within your means, or you acquire that skill set that allows you to achieve that goal. Or you be consistent. Find the way to wake up every day and take that action it takes to achieve your goal. And when you can't achieve your goal, you fail, and guess what happens then? You get back up and you do it again. Now here's the ticket about failure. When you think about it, I know we have this skewed view, or at least a lot of people I've talked to have this skewed view about successful people. The reality is, it doesn't matter who you look at, successful people fail. They fail a lot. And I think the one characteristic about successful people is that they fail and they just keep doing it. They just keep grinding it out. They keep working it from this angle or that angle, or they keep doing different things to achieve the goal. But the reality for them is the same as the reality for us, right? For you. If you're going to fail, it's maybe because you don't have the skill set. You aren't good enough with the skill set, with the tools that you have to have in order to accomplish that goal. Or you don't have the endurance to continue long enough to see those skills you do have mature into what they should be. That's why we fail. I'm not going to fail at this. I've already accomplished my goal. I'm not that far away from it. Unless something catastrophic happens and I drop off the face of the earth, I can guarantee I'm going to get 365. And from that point of view, I guess I could write a book about how to do 365 podcasts in 365 days. Someone would buy it, right? Someone would say, well, damn, I wish I could do that. Or damn, how did he do that, right? Someone would be curious about that story. Will I fail? The only way I fail is if I quit. The only way I fail is if I do not show up tomorrow to do the same thing I'm doing today. That I do this act, not because I like it, not because I love it, not because it feels good, because sometimes it don't, but because I'm committed to the idea that, guess what? I'm going to help you wake up with more good stuff in your life than you have now. I'm going to help you wake up so that when you look at all the things you have to do, there's going to be some of those things that you actually want to do. Some of those things that you enjoy doing. And it's already happening. I mean, I can't believe what's going on with the podcast right now. I'm really excited about it. I've been pushing it. I've jumped onto LinkedIn. So you want to catch me there and see what I'm doing, go ahead and check out LinkedIn. If you want to go to Facebook, I'm on Facebook. I'm not failing. And that dream that I talked about in the previous podcast about where I want this to go, that's alive and well. Feels good, right? Feels good. Because how else does it get created except for I continue to do it, right? And if it's not good enough, that's okay. I'll be back. It'll be good enough again. And that's the approach. What thing in your life can you do today that will change your life for tomorrow? What thing in your life do you want enough that you're willing to endure the struggle of failing, of going, ugh, that's weird. Ugh, I do it all the time. Can you imagine how scary it is? I tried to get my grandson to interview him. He's kind of a cool dude. I thought, hey, I'll do a podcast interview. He's like, no. Because think about it. For all those people out there that sit around and go, well, I don't like his podcast. Well, just admire me for my effort, right? Admire me for my effort. I keep showing up. Haven't asked you for anything. If I ask you for something, you might say, okay, why? There's a point when I'm going to ask you. I imagine I will ask you for something eventually because I'm giving a bunch. I'm not charging anyone for this podcast, right? I'm not charging you to show up here every day and say, okay, how do I become better at achieving goals? Well, I have to adapt to the idea that you're going to fail. I have to adapt to the idea that I'm going to face hurdles that I can't get over or don't seem to be able to get over, and I'm going to try, and it's not going to happen. And I'm going to want to quit. And instead of quitting, I'm going to do it again. And before I know it, guess what? I'm going to win. And that's a cool part about it. That's the cool part about failing is that you check them off. You check all those failures off, and after a while, it doesn't hurt anymore. You don't concern yourself with, well, what do they think? And you win. But you need to pick something that's connected to you. If you're living a life and your life is not in order, if your life isn't organized and squared away, it's probably because the things you're doing are not connected to who you are. When I walk by someone's house and their yard's a mess and there's weeds and crap everywhere, it's an obvious statement. There's an obvious reason for that. It's because they are chasing something that's not theirs. They're going after a dream that has nothing to do with them. They're following the wrong plan. The guy that loves fishing, I guarantee you his boat is squared away, especially if he understands that the boat is priority because it allows him to do what he loves to do, right? Does that mean he doesn't have to work? No. When you think about the biggest failure I think I see in my life or I've seen in my life, it's that I didn't figure this out sooner, that I didn't figure out that, you know what, yeah, I can own all that stuff, I can be in debt, and I can sit down in my front porch or drive my fancy truck and say, hey, this is what I'm doing, check me out. Or I can step away from it, I can not be afraid to fail, and I can come out with a different plan that fits me. A different plan that's driven by who I am. And the cool part about it is you have the same option. And I'm doing the best I can. I'm trying to give it to you. And the steps are simple. Take a look at something in your life you'd like to change. That's the picket. Come up with a strategy, some steps that you need to take if you're going to accomplish that goal. Take that action and then evaluate it. It's that simple. And be consistent. Wake up every day, and if you have to tell yourself the most amazing story in the world about how your life's going to be when you graduate from nursing school or from whatever it is you're going to change in your life, then do that. No harm in lying to yourself if it's for a good cause. No harm in building a dream up around what you're doing to make it less painful to do it. I mean, you can't imagine. I'm over there grinding it out, and all I keep thinking in my mind when I'm going to school, I'm going to be a cop, is how great it's going to be and how nice it'll be to never smell like form oil. There I am. It's 9 o'clock or 8:30 at night. I'm tired. I had a sandwich and a soda. I'm dirty. I'm sitting there in class, and I'm just thinking, what a grunge. I got people that are 8 years, 10 years younger than me looking at me like I'm this old man at 26, right? Covered in dirt. And I'm just thinking, I just want to quit. But it's that consistency. It's about that story. It's about creating a story around it so that you can find the energy to just keep grinding it, to keep going after it until you get there. That's how you're going to do it. That's how we did it. And it's not some magical recipe. You don't have any problem doing the shit you love, right? Okay, so if you want to have success in your life, do more of the stuff you love, because you'll face a struggle to do fun shit. I mean, I've seen guys, my son has gotten up at 3 o'clock in the morning so him and his buddies can go skiing or snowboarding on Monarch Pass, right? In Colorado. People get up early, do crazy stuff all the time. People get up early, drive to the mountains to climb a 14er and get down off the peak before the lightning gets them, right? Pick a good dream. That'll help a bunch. That will help a bunch. But the ticket here is, no matter where you're at, it's about making your life better. Doing something that is going to inspire you is going to give you the energy to do so. And I think you can do it. I think it's within your reach. All you have to do is wake up and ask yourself, what can I become? And then go after it. I hope you'll consider that. And let's not forget the kindness. It's all there for you. It's out there for you. And I'm going to keep showing up to give it to you. I hope you'll stick around. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for the likes. And just remember, today's your day. Make it a good one.